Entering North Carolina, Set Clocks Back 100 Years by Jim Lutz. Now, in this book, we go back to the 1850s when we learn how the Democrats and the Republicans interacted with each other. What we learn is that the Democratic Party was actually part of a real issue and a problem that we had in this state back in the day. Some white supremacists even called themselves Democrats, and what we see in the Republican Party, or what we stereotypically see in the Republican Party, we saw back in the 1850s in the Democratic Party. So a lot has changed since then. In 1856, the Democrats actually eliminated property qualifications for voting and started building their farmers' railroads. So we see a lot of progressive momentum going into the early 20th century, but in 1898, the Wilmington Race Riot really showed the state's true colors. Nowadays, our stance on the LGBT rights has been provoked by Pat McCrory, and in so, we've learned that we've lost a lot of jobs and a lot of sponsorships due to the fact that our state currently has a HB2 law in which states that transgender individuals may not go into bathrooms. Because of Pat McCrory's decision to enact this law, we've actually started to go back in time and see what we were seeing back in the 1850s and 1890s. A lot of this has to do with participation in voting. Not a lot of people understand the full spectrum of what it means to be a civic advocate. And also, we need to learn how to not only vote, but to learn why and who we are voting for, especially in a time like now when we have such a divided country and state. We have to realize that our vote does count. So in the late 2000s, 2010 era, we learned that voter turnout is a big deal. And so with these new steps going forward, we have to have more voter turnout. Well, what can happen when you don't vote? Well, you're going to have a progressive attitude being shaken down by the Republican Party, which is in part by Pat McCrory in 2010. And during this time, he also said that an educational elite was dominating higher education, offering jobs that have no path. So he really struck down on public education, and in the book it reads and describes about how the hidden agenda of the Republicans in the state offer more tax incentives to business and private sector than it does the public sector, so which caused our public education system to actually fail. And even Pat McCrory stated that an average teacher's salary was $50,000. Well, we know that isn't the case, and so which leads us to the solution in North Carolina is to vote in Roy Cooper. And so in this past election, which is very relevant to this video, Roy Cooper has taken over in North Carolina, and hopefully we will see that progressive movement that the book illustrates going forth, and given the equality to our public sector, and given the attention to teachers and activists, and also to improve relations between our state and its citizens, such as the LGBT community, African American community, and the Latino community. And in doing so, this book has helped me realize how much our state is changing, and in order to fulfill the needs and requirements that our state is going to need, we're going to have a progressive attitude in public education and in higher education. So hopefully Roy Cooper can do that. Thanks.